I don't understand why people argue with strangers. You're never going to change their mind. And they're probably there just to either obfuscate what you're trying to say anyway, or they're gaslighting you, or whatever it is. Why would you waste your time?
It's the codependency of misery. And if you have not found anybody that will argue with someone, especially a stranger, anybody that will argue with an anonymous human being over anything, really, but over politics or some social issue, knowing these things, because you have to be either completely psychotic or the dumbest human being on earth to think that you're going to have any effect on the other person. That's not why you're doing it. I think that it's the pathology of the codependency of misery. And it's coming from people who have not either discovered their purpose or they don't think they have a purpose. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel like your life means anything, this whole nihilistic, life has no meaning, then you have nothing to hold on to. And therefore things like that, you're miserable. And you cannot be miserable alone. That is the worst. I mean, I did a whole episode or two about isolation. And there's a reason that isolation is used as a torture technique. Human beings can't live in isolation. And so if you are adrift, if you are without foundation, and you just really don't have any purpose, you don't think that life is meaningful at all, that's what you're going to do. That's the kind of thing that you're going to engage in. And I got into this little topic last night at the dinner table, which is nihilism and just the various what we would consider negative aspects of looking at life. Relativism, any kind of relativism, whether it's moral relativism or whatever, and just rooted in a soul that is completely adrift, someone without a foundation. Because the question that they ask, which is framed improperly, is what's the point? What difference is it going to make to anyone or the universe in 100 years or 1,000 years if I do X, or if I'm a decent person, or if I'm a terrible person? What's the point? And if you think that, you're lost. Because think about it this way. Yesterday I went to our, we call it the dump, the landfill, the convenience center, the waste management place, is we separate our recyclables and we do all that. And they have the big receptacles where you throw, huge giant cardboard boxes and pieces of furniture and trash and all that. But at the very back, they have where you separate glass and plastic and all that kind of stuff. And I have found I'm kind of weird this way because I find anything procedural like that to be very calming and very systematic. And it's something I can get lost in. And it's the same way with me with vacuuming and things like that, that I can make patterns, and I can, like I said, procedural things. But anyway, so yes, I'm crazy. So
military.
I'm doing my separation, and I'm in that world. And it was a beautiful day outside yesterday. And so it was just, I was just in my element and doing my thing. And I pulled up because we had for our new place, we've had when you move, you end up not only with your cardboard boxes that you moved with, but the stuff that your new furniture and whatnot comes with. So we've been nonstop going to the recycling center. And so I went up to the very front, which is the last big receptacle where you put your cardboard, and there's signs everywhere telling you how to do this. And there's a place where you throw, there's cardboard, there's yard waste, there's white metal goods, and things like that. And then there's a place where you just throw random trash, whatever, household trash. Here's the thing. So there's a place for everything. But the cardboard is for cardboard, not everything else that came in the cardboard box along with whatever you had. There's always going to be styrofoam and packing materials and plastic and whatnot. And that can't get in the cardboard recycling thing. It messes up the works. And all you yahoos out there that claim that you're so into the environment and want to save the world, I watch each and every one of you assholes throw crap into the recycling thing that you shouldn't be throwing in there. And I've seen your goddamn bumper stickers. A bunch of lying motherfuckers. So anyway, I took my box cutter with me. I'm flattening all of my boxes as flat as possible. I'm making sure there's no random crap in there. And here comes, Gert up with her. First of all, it's pasteboard. It's not cardboard. And if you don't know what the difference is, like pasteboard is like a cereal box or something like that. And she's got a huge box. It's not broken down. And she throws it in there. And here comes another guy right behind her. Same kind of thing. He's got a huge rectangular cardboard box. Didn't even bother breaking it down. Throws it in there. Like 3 people did that. And the worker came up because he has to manage this thing. And he has to reach in there with this giant scooper or whatever it is and pull things out that shouldn't be in there. And so he pulled this box out that Gert threw in there, and it was a computer box, and it was full of styrofoam. And I heard him go, "Man, you got to be fucking kidding me." And I was like, "God, I feel you, bro." But the point of that is this. I will circle back around to what I started talking about, which is relativism and nihilism, and there's no point to life, so who gives a shit what I do, because it's not going to make any difference in 1,000 years anyway. Well, that's probably true. Gert throwing her computer box made of pasteboard with full of styrofoam into the cardboard thing isn't going to make any difference to the universe in 1,000 years. Not one single gnat's worth of iota. But first of all, tangentially, it did affect someone, because it affected the guy that was working there.
Just about to say that. Yeah, it ruined his day.
But I'm sure he got over it, because I'm sure he sees that 500 times a day. But here's the heart of the matter, is that those things that's just an example. And maybe it's leaving your shopping cart all higgledy-piggledy in the parking lot so people can't use their things. We're going to get into that issue too. But
oh God,
whatever the thing is that is not going to affect the universe in 1,000 years, so why bother? Well, it is going to affect you. You know it's wrong. Whatever it is that you're doing, you know it's wrong. Whether it's throwing the styrofoam in the cardboard recycling, or leaving the shopping cart in the parking place, or whatever seemingly insignificant thing it is, or what sitting in your house, smoking weed and looking at porn all night long. Whatever it is, it's wrong, and it's going to affect you. You, and you. I'm not saying whoever is doing that kind of thing, but whatever the thing is that you're doing, you can't frame it as in, how is this going to affect the universe in 1,000 years? You need to think about that it's going to affect you. Because when you do something that you know is wrong, or that you know is amoral, or that you know is criminal, or that you know it's something that you should or shouldn't do, it affects you, whether you know it or not, and whether you acknowledge it or not. And it rots away at your character, and it rots away at your soul. And that very definitely affects the people around you. And then that circle starts growing. So you can't think of these insignificant trifles as who cares. You have to think of it as, I need to care. It affects me. And I don't live in a vacuum. And I really wanted to make sure I got that message out there because I think we're getting lost. We're not getting lost. We're way out at sea as a culture with this attitude of who cares? What I do doesn't affect anything.